Alright guys, time for an update. So you just saw a time lapse of me making the wiring harness, and we skipped a few steps, but here we are with the basically finished car. We got the thing running a few weeks ago. And I had to deal with a few issues, specifically dealing with the ECU that I chose for the car. Now, I haven't revealed that yet, but on this car, I've decided to try something a little different in that department. We've normally been running Maxxecu ECUs, but this time I decided to try out something I've been wanting to try for a while, which is a Maxxecu. Specifically, we are using the Maxxecu Race ECU, and that includes some EGT probes that are built into the box. So we're going to have a lot of onboard monitoring, and hopefully it will help this engine to live. So the reason that I chose that ECU is what I just mentioned. We're going to push this thing rather hard. I'd like to set up some engine protection safeties, such as coolant pressure, possibly EGTs if they prove to be reliable. I was going to try and do crankcase pressure, but I ran out of I/O, unfortunately. To make the Maxxecu work on this engine, I had to work with them. I had to send a bunch of trigger logs, data logs, and that sort of thing to allow them to get the information that they needed to add it to the supported engines in their ECU software. And when I initially fired it up, it actually wasn't giving even timing to all of the cylinders, or so I thought. So an issue that a lot of coils have is they will auto-ignite. And what that means is basically if you charge it for too long, it will get to a certain point where it's stored its maximum amount of energy and it will automatically discharge. Some coils will do that, some coils just won't fire at all. That would be my preferred failure mode, just because discharging early could be really bad news. That's one of the things that Matt ran into most likely on the 8s for 8s program. And I believe that's what we were running into on this combo, which is why you see LS coils on the thing now. So we had done that on a previous build with a 4200, so it was easy enough to just transfer it over. Not a huge deal, but basically what I ran into was I basically on all the other engines, I've been commanding 4 milliseconds of dwell pretty much all the time on the factory 4200 coils. I was doing the same thing on the Maxxecu, but for whatever reason, they were automatically discharging too early. As soon as I lowered the dwell, they got to a point where they were discharging at the correct time and giving every cylinder the correct amount of timing. So that still has me a little puzzled, but basically I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, if they've gotten one thing to work, it's LS coils. So I decided to just put LS coils on it, and these have a failure mode of just not discharging if you charge them too long. So I think that's going to work out better. Also for drag week, I am going to be more likely to find LS coils than I am to find 4200 coils. So that is why you see what you see there. So I'm just about to the point where I'm ready to back this thing out of the garage and take it for a drive. So let's go. Alright guys, that was a very successful first test drive. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.